How you doing? It's Bill Stage on 97X. I'm a Brandon Mavis from Craft Quad Cities who really is kind of taking a passion for craft beer and is making his own thing, curating some of the events around the Quad Cities as far as the craft beer is concerned. Tell us a little bit about Craft Quad Cities.
Yeah, so I started this a little over a year ago, actually now, and it started out as a passion. Myself enjoying craft beer, and then always kind of wanting to know what's going on in the area. I found myself having to go to multiple sites, Facebook pages, event sites listing Quad City events.
Right.
So it was one of those things where I can create a website that lists all these places in one spot.
Yeah.
It's kind of self-beneficial, but it's helping others now as well.
That's great. So people can follow Craft Quad Cities on all the social media and really just get daily specials on some of the events that are coming up on around the Quad City area and the breweries and some of the tappings as well. What have been some of your experiences with some of the bars?
So it's actually been really well. Before I even started all this, I reached out to everybody just to kind of get some feedback, right? Because I'm using their name, I'm using their ideas to kind of push on the sites, and they were all for it. I got really good feedback from it. The response from my followers has been more than I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
When I first started this, I was like, I'll have like a dozen people, 20 some people follow me.
Yeah.
On this, and I got just over 900 now on Instagram. And I just started Facebook a few months ago, but it's got about 240, 250 maybe.
Nice.
So it's building up, but yeah, it's actually gone better than I thought it would be for a fun project.
No, that's awesome. And if people are interested in some of the tappings around the area, what are some of the things that you're pushing? Tappings of the new beer, and what else?
Yeah, so tappings is definitely one of them, right? So there's over 14 locations just here in the Quad Cities.
Right.
And I cover some areas outside of the Quad Cities that are definitely drivable, pretty close. So there's always new beers coming out. Certain nights they'll have things like trivia. They'll have like bingo nights. There's charity fundraisers that happen. They're doing happy hour specials where they're giving $1 off, $2 off drafts, things like that. So basically, I cover pretty much whatever is going on.
What led you down the craft beer path? What got you started? Was there a particular beer? What was it? What got you going down the path?
Yeah, so ironically, I've been in the Quad Cities about 5 years now. Just originally from Galesburg.
Okay.
But I was really not big into the craft beer, so I was like, well, let's try it. You move up here and there's so many locations.
Yeah.
And it's one of those. It's like, all right, there's obviously something happening here. Like, it's a big deal. So it just one of those things that grew on me. And now I really enjoy them. And then now there's, so many styles to beer.
Yeah.
That, it's like, oh, let's try this new style. I haven't had that before. And some of those are still growing on me. And then some of them are also my favorites now. But,
what is your favorite style?
So I don't know if I have one favorite style. So this time of year, I really enjoy Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Whenever those come out, which is, usually September-ish range, early October. Those are some of my favorites. I do enjoy some Hefeweizens as well, but I think ultimately if there's ever like an amber beer on tap, I'll usually probably definitely get that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I know you work with pretty much every brewery in the Quad Cities. Is it bad for me to ask you what your favorite beer is? Will you answer that?
Oh, man.
Will you give us a straight answer, Brandon?
I don't know if I honestly can, not even from a keeping neutral side, but it's hard to pick a favorite. Just like I said, there's not one place that I can't say I like at least one or two beers from that I can say I have a favorite beer at each location. But I don't know if I could pick one out of all of them.
It's a cop out. What a cop out, man.
Safe.
Do you have any hangover cures? Do you have a go-to? You went out, you had a few too many. Next morning you wake up, you're like, I gotta do blank in order to get myself right.
So a lot of people say just go with the greasy food the next day.
Yeah.
I think honestly my thing is I'm not one of those that sleeps it off. If I ever do have too much the night before, it's one of those that's just kind of like, all right, wake up and just I'll go and watch TV or do a few things around and just kind of let it wear off. Yeah, I try to avoid that.
That's it. I mean, if you could pick it, yeah, avoidance is key for sure.
Yes.
What about favorite pairings? A lot of people pair up food with beer. Do you have any favorite pairing as far as food goes? As far as maybe music or movies or people in general? What do you like to do or have along with your beer?
So, I don't know if this constitutes food. It's maybe a snack,
Yeah.
right? So a lot of the bars will serve like a kind of like a trail mix or kind of like a Chex Mix type thing.
Gotcha.
Pretzels and like crackers and stuff. It's not a meal, but if anyone has popcorn laying around
Yeah.
or any of that Chex Mix, there's usually a basket of it sitting in front of me if I have a couple beers. They go well together.
Have you ever tried home brewing? Have you ever taken your passion and
not
gone
on my
in
own. I helped a guy probably about 6 years ago. I think it was probably before I even ever had a craft beer.
Yeah.
Had tasted one. I helped him because his normal brewing buddy was not available to make it, and he wanted to go ahead and get this done.
Yep.
So I went over for about 4 or 5 hours and helped him put some stuff together.
Gotcha.
So
how'd you do?
I think I passed. I didn't screw anything up, so I'm going to take that as a pass. Yeah.
So with Craft Quad Cities, obviously there's the website, there's the social media. You're kind of branching out a little bit. Tell me about your getting together with Blue Jacket.
Yeah, so actually, this is just kind of a recent development. I just announced it today on my social media. Michael
I was stalking you earlier.
Yeah, so. Michael Lawrence, great guy. So him and I have kind of teamed up to be a sponsor of some of my social posts coming up. So he has a kind of an overlapping audience as what I do. So he has a handful of Quad City area breweries that are part of his Blue Jacket. If you're not familiar with Blue Jacket, basically you can download the app on the App Store or on Google Play, and it gives you basically coupons to your phone via the app that as you just drive by locations that are participating business, you get those coupons and deals delivered to you immediately.
Yeah.
So it's, don't ever forget those at home again.
Right.
On your counter, you're always going to have them right in your phone. So
Yeah.
it's a really awesome thing.
It is.
And we're going to incorporate some of those. So the breweries that he has partnered up with here in the Quad Cities, I'm going to be tying those into my social media posts. So anytime I make a post that is with an accompanying business, you're going to be able to get that deal from my social post, from Blue Jacket. So.
Oh, that's very cool. You've also got a very cool thing going on. A calendar is going to be happening for 2020. Yes. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about this one. This was kind of a random idea one day, right? I was trying to think what else can I do? I'm selling some T-shirts. Everybody seems to have like canned koozies. Like you go everywhere and you get canned koozies. So I wanted something that was kind of unique and people would think was kind of cool. So I'm making a 2020 craft beer calendar, and it's going to feature all the businesses, brewery businesses that are part of the QCL Trail.
Okay.
So the QCL Trail was launched previously this year, back in May, I believe, and that's part of Visit Quad Cities' efforts to bring more exposure to these local businesses and to the Quad Cities craft beer scene, because it is such a strong part of the economy. So we've teamed up with them. They're going to be a sponsor of the calendar, and then we're going to feature their businesses that are along their QCL Trail.
That's awesome. And do you have any idea when that will be coming out?
Yeah, so our goal is the first week of December.
Okay.
So we're wrapping up our photography right now.
Where are you heading? You said you're going off today after this interview.
We are. So here in about an hour, we're going to be going to Big Swing over in Rock Island.
Okay.
And then we're going to be going to Midwest Ale Works in East Moline, and then out to Geneseo Brewing.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a great idea. I think people will love that. And there's no other places to get calendars around here. Sorry, Dwyer and Michaels.
Craft beer calendars.
Yeah, that's right. If you're a craft beer enthusiast like Brandon, then that's definitely something you need to go check out. Follow them online and the social media at Craft Quad Cities, and also check out the website craftqc.com. And did we hit everything? Is there anything else I need to get out there?
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it. Like I said, we have some fun stuff coming up with Blue Jacket. We have a cool project with the calendar, so look for that soon.
How do people get your shirt? I thank you for the shirt. How do other people get it without hosting a radio show?
So I have a couple shirts out right now. I only have a couple of the white shirts left, so that's pretty limited. But the shirt I'm wearing right now is kind of a drink local, support local shirt. It's going to be at craftqc.com. Okay. So you'll see the link on there. You click it, and that'll take you to the merchandise site.
All right. Brandon Mavis, Craft Quad Cities. Go check him out and follow the social media every single day. He's got updates on all the breweries around the Quad Cities, and that's a great place for you to go nerd out on some craft beer. For Brandon and Craft Quad Cities, I'm Bill Stage on 97X.